Whoop, put it in park, Scott. Okay, we're putting it in park. Oh, no, that's the timer. Okay, there we go. All right, now we're recording, and it's happening now. So, if you weren't ready, then you better be now. Here it comes in 3, 2, 1.
Every morning before Linda gets up, her mother mashes up a pill and stirs it into Linda's orange juice.
I am doing my job here.
The Morning Stream. We just wanted more fish. They wouldn't give us any more fish.
Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of the Morning Stream with me, Scott Johnson, and him, Brian Ibbett. Hello, Brian Ibbett. How are you?
Hello, Scott Johnson. Happy Thursday to you. Friday Eve.
Thanks, man. It's October 8th, by the way, which means that was a fast 8 days. I don't know where those went. Doesn't that seem a little fast? Weren't we just talking about it being the first? It feels like it.
Yeah.
Feels like we were just here. But no. Time screams on ahead of us, whether we like it or not.
Time really can't decide what speed it wants to go now, right? Sometimes it just feels like it's achingly, mind-numbingly slow.
Mm-hmm.
Other times it's like, whoa, where did that month go?
Yeah.
How come it's already October 8th? Whoa.
Don't like it. No, sir, I don't. But I will say this. Happy 2002 episode, the year of Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and my big fat Greek wedding. That was the same year. Yes. Yeah. This is also 8 Mile came out that year.
8 Mile, yeah.
The Osbournes was on TV for the first time in 2002.
So 2002.
Yeah.
I was still doing travel and installations for clients.
Right.
For newspaper clients. And I was in... Oh, where was I? I want to say Northern California with the sales manager, Alan. And he and I decided that, middle of the day, let's go see the Two Towers.
Okay.
And so we snuck off. We had finished working with the client that we were there to see, but really we technically were still on the clock. And what are the big elephant things in Lord of the Rings called? Not oilifants. Is it oilifants?
Oliphants.
Timothy Oliphants? Is that what they're called?
Oliphants. I don't remember. I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But there's a scene where they start coming out as part of the battle, the big battle it is Oliphants. Okay, yeah.
Oliphants. Okay.
A big battle that takes place that where they bring those out, and it's at that point that I feel a vibration in my pocket.
Yeah.
And it's a client calling, not the one we're there to see, but another client calling needing tech support. So I went and did tech support for 15 minutes in the lobby of an Oakland AMC theaters or someplace.
Oh man.
Helped a client, then came back in. What did I miss?
What did you miss? Do you remember how much you missed? Because it seems like you missed a lot. Right?
I missed 15 minutes. But I did see it again eventually. So I have made up for the time I missed, but still haven't done that with the Wolverine, which is surprising because I really like the Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine is great.
Over first, whatever it's called.
Origins.
X-Men Origins, Wolverine.
Yeah. Origins is bad. It's a bad movie. It's a horrible film.
Yeah.
I'll say this, though. Controversial opinion. I think Two Towers is my least favorite of the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm going to put that out there.
Just the Lord of the Rings or including the Hobbit series?
Oh, if I don't include the Hobbit, then yes, just Lord of the Rings. If I'm including the Hobbit...
Yeah.
The Hobbit is a passable use of your time. All right?
Yeah.
But only that. The old stuff, though, the original trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy by Peter Jackson in the early 2000s is all-time great thing. It's great. But of those 3 films, if I'm picking favorites,
sure,
I think it goes backward, or it goes 3, 1, 2 is how it goes for me. And I really like 1, and I love 3. And I just think 2 is the least good of the 3. But compared to other movies, it's a great movie. I think it's a kind of a boring middle piece. It's a little boring.
This is such a hard discussion because it's not like The Matrix, where there's a really big gap between the best and the worst Matrix movies.
Yeah.
or The Matrix and the other movies.
Yeah.
So it's like if Two Towers lulls, it's just a tiny lull compared to the other two for me.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not that. I mean, if you sat me down and said, "Hey, we're going to watch all 3 in a row," that's kind of the way to do it, because then I get the full, I get the full meal deal that way, and I don't feel like there's a weird pause because it's all in context and it works.
Sure.
If you do extended editions, 2 is better as an extended edition. It's a better overall film as an extended edition, but it's long as shit.
Well, yeah.
You'll be there all day, dude. That's
I think they're all kind of long as shit, aren't they? I mean,
they are, but you'd be there all day.
Two Towers the longest of the 3?
Two Towers is no. I think Return of the King
third
might
one's
be
the longest, right?
Yeah. Hold on. Longest.
I mean, yeah, you're spending a day if you're watching all 3 movies in the extended deluxe Peter Jackson approved editions. Then tuck in.
Well, here's your answer. Fellowship of the Ring, 170 minutes.
Okay.
We'll just do theatrical here.
Oh, okay. All right.
178 minutes, rather.
So 2 minutes shy of 3 hours.
Yeah, Two Towers is 1 minute longer, 179.
Wow. Okay.
And Return of the King, 251. So much. Well, not.
Whoa!
Much longer,
Wait! 251?
I'm sorry. 201. I'm looking at the extended.
Oh, okay.
201.
I mean, even 251 for the extended version is. That's 10 minutes longer than 4 hours, right?
Yeah, that's a long movie. That's a a dump and 2 pee breaks.
I did not realize that thing was 4+ hours. Yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's almost 2 meals. You got to eat breakfast and lunch before that thing's over.
Well, and second breakfast.
Right. Tomatoes. Anyway. So, yeah, I didn't know that either. That's crazy. So, Return of the King, my favorite, is actually the longest. Weird.
Well, weird.
All right. My favorite is the longest. Isn't there a song?
Yeah, it's a Whitney Houston song, I believe.
Oh, there you go. Nailed it. All right. So there's that. Also, I just want to congratulate Salt Lake City and my hometown of Salt Lake and surrounding areas and my home state of Utah for producing the most famous fly in all of political history. Last night, here's the funny thing. The fall... Help me! The fall months in Utah, especially in the valley, are known for it being a little bit of fly season. We get a lot of flies in the late summer, early fall. And so I am not in the least surprised that one of those buggers got through the building and ended up on Pence's head. But what a perfect canvas, because he's got this pure white canvas head.
Totally.
And this little fly, there was no way you weren't going to see it. And now it's all anybody wants to talk about. There's literally Twitter accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers overnight pretending to be this fly.
Called Fly on Pence's head.
Yeah,
yes, I love it.
Some are already selling swag and merch. Like
things stuck to them like fly on white.
Yeah. I made a pretty fly on a white guy joke. That was all right. There's some other fun.
I don't want to alarm anybody, but I think that debate might have been bugged.
Yeah, it may have been a little. See, there's another good one. There's a good one.
See, I was out playing trivia last night, so I didn't get to do any of these on Twitter. Like I heard about it when we got back.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, if I were on Twitter instead of playing trivia, I'd be like laying these all out, like
Yeah, you'd know them.
But I'm sure somebody already did them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you just have to be first.
To be a fly on the Waldo at that debate.
So yeah, we have the most famous fly. I don't know. I get proud of Utah connections. Hold on, I'll play that. There we go. Utah connection. I like a good Utah connection. We got a new one. It's a good one. So that fly, well done. Your life is limited. You're probably going to die later today because they only live like a day or two, whatever flies live. Yeah. If somebody hasn't already killed you, and so your brief moment, man. What a 15 minutes of fame that guy got, and that fly sat there for 2 solid minutes and didn't move.
He did not move, and the fact that Pence didn't feel it. I mean, I know I'm bald, and so of course, if something lands on my head, I'm going to feel it.
Right.
But I feel like even if you've got hair, there's a little bit of, you feel something. And
I always feel it. There's no way I don't feel it. So I don't know why I didn't feel it. He just looked like Cotton Hill. He was really focused or whatever his deal was. But the other thing is, what was I going to say? I forgot. Oh, if you listen to the microphone very, very carefully, you really have to get in there to hear it. But you can hear a little voice say, You are going to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour. You can hear the voice of Jeff Goldblum coming out of Brundlefly, sitting on the head of Mike.
Okay, if I'm gonna teleport from one side of my lab to the other,
Yeah, and
I
those,
plug
by
this
the way,
in.
those plexiglass things look like portals. So I'm just saying.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, you know.
Oh, somebody needs to Photoshop the Brundlefly portal pods.
I guarantee you somebody's photoshopped Jeff Bridges on his head by now, right? That's
Jeff
had to have
Goldblum
happened.
or Jeff Bridges?
Or, I'm sorry, Jeff Goldblum. Why did I say Jeff Bridges? The dude. Somebody's put the dude on his head, right? We need the dude.
Yeah.
On his head.
Oh yeah, and then the pink eye thing. Yeah, I saw the photos of his eye, his bloodshot eye. Jeez.
Yeah, I think he's got a little poo in there.
I think there's another reason that I think Kamala should have been happy to have those two plexiglass screens between the two of them.
Yeah, someone in the chat said Harris had a whole head of flies and no one noticed. Well, that's because it's a good contrast. Harris could have had 50 flies in her hair. It works because she's got nice dark hair. You put it on Pence, and it's like saying, hey, what if we had a perfectly white background and then we put the only dark spot on it possible?
Exactly. It's like having a bit of schmutz on your dress shirt. Like everybody notices the bit of schmutz on your dress shirt.
Yeah, you wear plaid, you can get away with like having half a dinner on there, right? No big deal.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, like a raisin in a lump of mayo, says TVC Con.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that's gross. Save that for Jury. He loves those mayo stories. Anyway.
Yes.
So good luck, Fly. We hope your life was fun and brief and great. All right. Quick note here from, let's see. This is from Rishi B. We know him. Rishi B from Ann Arbor, Michigan. He wrote in and says, Dear Steve and Buscemi, on the most recent recommendals, y'all mentioned Jessie Buckley, who plays the Minnesota nurse Oretta on Fargo Season 4. She is fantastic, and I first saw her in 2008 in the movie Wild Rose, where she stars as an Irish woman who wants to become a country singer. It's very good, so he makes this recommendation for us. Sinceralist, Rishi B. from Ann Arbor. That's the other thing, is she is Irish, and I'm starting to notice a lot of Irish actors forgetting they were Irish. So, for example, Queen Maeve on The Boys there.
Okay.
That's an Irish lady.
Is she really? Wow.
They are so good at covering their accents. I'm going to give
are.
them like Australian level props because I can't freaking tell that any of them are Irish. The guy you're watching right now on whatever it's called, your show you're watching, it's not Steve Perry, Perry Mason. You know, Steve Perry, the great detective.
Steve Perry, yes. I like it when he solves the crime and he goes, "Oh, Sherry, all alone."
I know, so really, really cracked that one, but that guy, he's Irish. Like everybody's Irish.
Sidian says he's Welsh, but
I thought he was Irish.
Props over to Saoirse Ronan
Yeah.
and Lady Bird. Again, you know, there's a perfectly disguised accent in the movie.
Yeah, that's true. But my eyes are open to the Irish. I feel like. Wait, so Perry Mason guy is not Irish? Why was I told
That's
he
what
was
they were
Irish?
saying. That's where Sidian said that he's Welsh.
I don't know if that's true, Sidian. I'm taking you on right now. This is a Sidian
All right,
match.
Matthew Rees.
Matthew Rees, here he is, or Rise, or whatever you say. I don't know what it is.
Welsh actor.
Damn it.
This is the first 5 words. I'm sorry, the first 7 words. Matthew Rees Evans is a Welsh actor.
I thought he was Irish.
Sorry. Hey, Welsh is hard to hide too. Look at Catherine Zeta-Jones in most of the stuff that she's been in.
Most of the things, yeah.
She hides that. Well, I mean, you know, Chicago, you can't sound like Sean Connery, but for you know, for
yeah. But I just couldn't believe Queen Maeve is Irish.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
I'm not into season 2 yet, but I mean, she's plenty in season 1, so that blows my mind.
And when you see Jessie, well, her name is Jessie, but when you see her as Oretta, her Oretta character is, you'd swear she's just from the bottom of Minnesota, wherever that is. Like,
cool.
It's crazy. She's so crazy. Oh my gosh, she's great.
Well, that'll be after dark. By the way, somebody on Twitter, I kind of want to give this person credit because they sent me this link that is awesome. Here we go. Sidekick California, Sidekick C, Canada. Looks like Sidekick
Oh, Canada. All right.
Send me a link to dark.netflix.io.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like the companion. I want a companion site like this for every damn show I watch, because it's like got
Oh, look at this.
for Dark, there's a lot of like jumping around and family tree stuff and characters who, because there's time travel involved, there's characters who look like one actor 1 minute and are played by a different actor the next minute. And this thing like is just such a great companion site to the show. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I knew that guy was that guy, but oh, okay, so he's this. And then they like have the on another page they kind of show who's in what time, like what time they originally started in, because sometimes they end up in a different time. I mean, I want to be really careful about what I say about the show, but I'm loving that show.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man.
It's so good.
Look at that site. That's great. It's also a very cool site.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy on the resources though. That thing just shot.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because it's got animation and.
Yeah. It looks like, I don't think it's Flash. It's like HTML5.
It's probably HTML5.
But there's so much. Holy crap. Yeah, that tab made my memory usage go up like 40%.
I better close it while we're doing the show.
Yeah, I'll close mine as well. That's crazy. All right. Anyway, thanks for that,
Dead Polymers, I watched Doctor Who. Okay, I'm almost completely caught up with the modern seasons.
Yeah, you're super Doctor Who-y. You do all that.
I just haven't seen the second season with Jodie Whittaker, but I'm in.
The newer one, right, with the lady.
The current Doctor, yeah.
Yeah. Every time there's a new season, I just am that much farther behind. I feel like I'll never catch up. I need a primer again. Someone give me a new primer.
Just start with Eccleston. I mean, don't go back to.
Just start with Eccleston, because I've heard you got to skip around even after that.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, I think Eccleston is great.
Yeah.
Tennant is great.
But are there episodes I should skip? Or I know those guys are cool. I like those guys, but I don't know what is there. And maybe you're right. Maybe
there probably are episodes you can skip. But
how long are the seasons? Like 10 episodes, 12, 20, 24?
12 or 13 episode seasons, I think.
That wouldn't be that big a deal. I could probably do that.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not even gonna say what Sidian just said. I'm not sure what. I don't know that episode. Apparently,
yeah.
Those are three words I never would have put together in a question.
Yeah,
sorry,
don't know.
Sorry, podcast listeners, I can't repeat that.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either. It sounds like a hell of an episode of Doctor Who.
Exactly.
Doctor Ho, more like Doctor Ho, if you know what I'm saying. Doctor Ho.
Yo. Yeah.
Anyway, so there's that. All right, we're gonna do something cool today. You may know this voice, Brian, that we're about to add to the show because he was a contestant, a near winner.
Yeah, was the first loser. First runner, the second place is the first loser. Is what my dad always taught me.
Yeah, there you have it. It's one way of putting it. It is Bobby Frankenberger, of course, a season favorite for me on the that show. I loved it. I thought he's the guy I voted for. So as far as I'm concerned,
he was an early horse in the race, like an early contender for us as well. So
well, welcome Bobby Frankenberger to the show. Bobby, welcome. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Oh, we're fantastic.
We're good.
Dude. Hey, so I get to finally see what you look like, which is weird.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, we've seen your photo.
Yeah,
it's a little different. This is my you can't see it well, but this is what I call my Keanu Reeves look right now.
Yeah, it's good. Keanu Reeves on the subway kind of business. So that's what that is.
Yeah, exactly. You need to do the suit, and you need to just look angry all the time now.
Yeah, that's your job. But anyway, it's good to have you here. Now, the reason we're doing this, people are like, wait, what the heck's this all about? Bobby, like a lot of the contestants on America's Next Greatest Podcaster.com effort.
Nailed it.
Concern.
America's Next Top Podcaster.com.
That have gone on to do projects they've been wanting to do. Cool new stuff. And that turns out Bobby has done that very thing. And what I'm interested in is why the focus on science. So give us a little background on what the show is, and then why did you go down the path of like, hey, let's make sure this has a fair amount of science in it, and why does that matter to you?
Yeah, well, okay. So to give the brief overview, the podcast is called All Around Science. It's a weekly science podcast that I do with a co-host, my co-host Maura Armstrong. We talk about science. We discuss science news every week, what's been going on in science news, and just kind of nerd out about cool sciencey stuff that we think is interesting for most of the show. Science has just been something that I've loved for a long time, and we focus a lot on science communication, or rather, sort of like making sure that it gets out to people in a digestible way, an approachable way. We work really hard to do that. We're not scientists ourselves, but we love science, so we think it helps us to stay grounded and talking about science in a way that's not jargony that you get a lot, and I mean, science touches everything we do, and I think everyone can be sort of enriched by understanding how the world works. So.
Now, if I came to your show and said, hey, I'm looking for a podcast that goes through, say, kind of an on-the-ground perspective on climate science, sounds like this might be a show where you guys would touch on a topic like that.
Yeah, in fact, climate science is something that we have touched on a good bit. Maura, I mentioned, my co-host, she likes Earth and climate science a lot, and so she some of the feature stuff that she does is a lot about that. And yeah, we want to make it so that your grandpa can come to this and walk away knowing something. In fact, my mom, who has never listened to anything I've ever done, listens to all of these and seems to like them. She texts me after every episode is released and tells me about it. So,
oh, you're doing such a good job. I'm just imagining what her voice would be.
Yeah, did a good job,
Right.
I like that. It was good. So wait a minute. So well, at least you have a show that your mom can listen to, and you won't wonder if she said something really stupid like I always do every day. But
right.
I know what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you this. So your time on ANTP, how much of that helped you with this launch? Like, how much of that, the rigor of that contest and the sort of the various challenges you guys had to do week to week, how much of that informed what this show is?
Well, a lot. First off, I didn't think that I was capable of doing a science podcast before the competition happened. I thought that the process of researching and producing the show would be too much, because when you're doing science podcast, you want to make sure you get it right. Whether you're going deep and being like super sciencey or not, you still want to make sure you get it right? Yeah. People are coming to listen to your science podcast and expect that it's going to actually be correct. So I always thought that would be too much. But
it is a lot of pressure. Like, I could get away with screwing up the name of a Van Morrison album, and all of a sudden my whole podcast isn't thrown into question.
Right, exactly. So, but going through the competition and putting us through the rigor of producing a podcast week after week, basically taught me that I could accomplish that, and I found myself drifting towards science topics anyway, so it's kind of like I got to test out whether it was possible for me to do it, and so that helped a lot.
Oh, I bet it did. I was just thinking, like, one of the reasons, I think there are two reasons I glommed onto the content you were making during the contest, and part of it was I think you just have a good natural voice for this sort of thing, like literally your voice, but also your cadence, your conversational style. You're able to sort of wing it in a way that doesn't sound like you're reading.
Very natural. Yeah, you got a very natural delivery.
So
in fact, I'm reading everything I say right now. And
I know. Yeah, well, we did provide you with the script before you came on. So.
Yeah, well, dude, you're doing great, by the way. Keep reading. We're on line 42. But like, that is already a bunch of tools to have in your toolbox, and those are really beneficial no matter what content you're doing moving forward.
Yeah.
But then to have an interest in not only the scientific side of things, but an interest in getting it right or getting it accurately out there, that's going to really, I think, pay off for you. So it's pretty exciting. So tell people where they can get it. Remind them the name. Is it on all the podcast directories? Are we out there everywhere? Is it all set?
I mean, I think so, but aren't they just adding new directories all the time lately? So
what we need is a directory of directories.
Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, you can find it where you get podcasts. It's called All Around Science, and yeah, it's a weekly podcast, so we do it every week. We have sort of like news at the top of the show, and then we go on to more of a featurey kind of half in the end where we just talk about things that we find interesting. Like we did one recently on what would happen if the moon disappeared. That was pretty fun excuse to talk about like how the moon affects the Earth in a lot of different ways. We talk about COVID a lot, you can imagine.
Sure.
Pseudoscience. The placebo effect was one that we just did, which was really fun for me to dig in on what that is and whether it actually has the power that people think it does.
Will there be a comedy episode?
We've removed comedy from the science podcast.
Oh man, that's too
We've
bad.
had enough of that.
That's too bad. So on the one about the moon, I assume there's stuff about tide goes in, tide goes out, that whole thing, right? Like how the tides are affected. I need to listen to that.
Tide comes in, tide goes out. Can't explain that with science.
That. Yeah, actually have that.
The moon is fascinating. It's there would be immediate and long-term changes. The seasons would all change.
Yeah.
The tides change, but because of reasons that you might not think, the days would stop getting. You know that over time the days have gotten shorter on Earth, like over millions of years, right? Well, the days would no longer be getting shorter if the moon wasn't there. The moon is what's causing the days to get shorter.
Yeah, freaking moon. You damn,
because of the cheese,
damn
right?
thing.
Trying to hold us back.
Yeah, try to hold it back. Listen to this.
You know, Tide.
No, that's not the one. Hold on, here it is.
We've got the facts.
No, that's about Tide. Never mind.
What a mess.
Oh, that's also about the cleaner. Never mind. I was going to play the Tide goes in, and you can't explain that. And I
coincidentally, if the moon disappeared, Tide pods would no longer be toxic.
Oh, wow.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, see, now look at we've already learned. We've already learned so much. We can learn so much more. Check out All Around Science wherever you get your podcasts. Is there a website as well? AllAroundScience.com?
Yes, allaroundscience.com. If you go there, you'll immediately see your favorite artists' artwork all over it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I did album art for this show. I should have mentioned that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was fun to do. I really enjoyed that. So go check that out and enjoy that artwork and then the cool show behind it, because that's the important part. I can promise you that. Well, that's awesome, dude. Thanks for swinging by and talking about it. I like this idea of showcasing some of the work the ANTP people are doing after the fact.
Thanks for having me, of course.
Yeah, and
cool.
Props to Brian for having a show that then sends people into the stratosphere, man. Look at him now. Look at Bobby now.
Hey,
look at him now.
I know. We do. I need to get rolling on the auditions for season 3. I know him and I are meeting. We were supposed to be meeting on Monday to discuss that this last Monday, but it's going to be this coming Monday.
Ah, gotcha.
So,
well, coming up then.
yes.
Keep your ears and eyes open. Bobby Frankenberger, good luck and have a great time. And thanks for being on
Thank
today.
you.
Thanks,
See you, man.
Bobby.
All right.
So good to see him, man.
He's a cool dude. I like
He
him.
is a cool dude. Yeah.
Super talented. All right. Wow. We have gone places, but there's still places to go. So
right.
let's go here. It's time for the news brought to you by.
Brought to you by Coverville. Yes, it was yesterday, but doggone it was such a good show. I'm going to talk about it again. Led Zeppelin 3, track by track. So everything from Bron Your Stomp to the Immigrant Song, which doesn't have a "the" in front of it. It's just Immigrant Song, and everywhere in between. Stuff from Dred Zeppelin, Corinne Bailey Rae, and more right there at coverville.com.
Nice. Dred Zeppelin, eh?
Dred Zeppelin, are you familiar with Dred Zeppelin?
No, I don't think I am. Tell me more.
They are a reggae Led Zeppelin cover band led by a 300-pound Elvis impersonator named Tortelvis.
Shut up, really?
I am not kidding. And their covers of Led Zeppelin are tinged with Elvis Presley songs, and he sings like Elvis Presley.
That sounds great.
I want a whole lot of love, stuff like that.
Oh, that's perfect. That
Yes.
sounds like it would be the perfect song for them. Tortelvis.
Tortelvis.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Find that and more at coverville.com.
That's right.
All right. We're going to do, we'll start with this story about parrots. They got removed from a UK wildlife park.
Oh, no.
I know.
What a horrible thing.
It's because they started swearing at customers. Can't have that now, can we?
Love it. Oh, my God. Please tell me we have audio.
Well, actually, do we? I didn't cut any, but maybe we do. We'll find out. A group of parrots at a zoo had to be put back in isolation when they started swearing at customers after coming out of quarantine. The 5 African gray parrots were adopted by Lincolnshire Wildlife Park August 15th and put in a room together. It appears they used their time in isolation teaching each other foul language, which left the park staff in hysterics, but swift action had to be taken when they started using obscenities with guests. Stephen Nichols, CEO of the Frinsky Park, said the birds were put into a timeout, but admitted over the last 25 years, he's taken in many parrots that have sometimes had a bit of a blue language problem. Who do they get it from, though? Right?
Yeah, they're not teaching it to each other. Come on. I mean, let's
like one of them went in there with
guests who were sitting there saying, "All right, say F, say F," and trying to get him to say it.
Oh, I didn't even think. Yeah, the guests are probably the ones doing it.
Yeah, of course they are.
In my head, it was like some trainer,
or an employee, yeah,
something like that. But you're right.
They don't just pick this thing up spontaneously, like, oh my effing talons.
These
just sitting on the perch all day.
British yokels in there going, "Oi, watch me make this parrot make a swear word."
That's right, exactly.
Oi. Yeah, there's something funny about that. Anyway, told the Lincolnshire Live thing, every now and again you get one that swears, and it's pretty funny. We always find it very comical when they do swear at you. However, with nothing better to do in isolation, and because by chance the latest crop were all adopted on the same time, they quarantined together, living in a room full of swearing birds. The more they swear, the more you usually laugh, which then triggers them to swear again. So you're basically training them to keep going when you laugh at them. It's like giving a dog a treat. Park chief says they learnt to swear. Does that sound right? Learnt?
Learnt, sure.
We would say learned.
Learned, yeah, but
the British say learnt.
Learnt.
Okay.
Yeah.
They learnt to swear and laugh at each other while swearing, leading to some akin to an old men's working club scenario. What does that mean?
It means basically they're explaining it away as locker room talk. Oh, it's the same old excuse.
Just locker room talk, was it? Grab you by the feathers, and they like it if you're a famous bird, they say.
That's right. Yes.
It says, we found it highly amusing, and the customers were fine. They were no problem at all, says this guy. Well, then why did you have to? Okay, well, whatever. Now they have a bunch of swearing birds. I would go see those birds if I could.
Yes. Can I get one of those? Could we get one of those for jury?
Oh, dude. Don't get me excited. By the way, have you heard?
Everybody's heard about the bird. I said a bird. A bird's the word. I said a bird.
No, it's the ravens. Have you heard a raven talk?
No.
Oh my
I've
gosh.
heard they say nevermore, but
you have to hear an actual raven speak. They
really?
can be trained like any other bird.
They do the repeating thing?
Big time. And not only that, oh gosh, I have to find this. You have to hear this, dude.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Okay, hold on. Raven.
Winter is coming.
Okay, here we go. Talking raven. Now, the reason I want you to hear this is because they don't have, like, parrots are all like, right? They're all high and everything. Ravens are like, yes, what are we doing here? Hello. It's like a low.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So here's this one right here. We got one on YouTube. I'm just going to play it. Here we go.
Come unprepared, haven't we?
We're waiting.
You all right?
I told you.
Those are people.
You all right?
Now the bird talk. Come on. I hate videos that are
No,
all dead
he's
space.
like, I don't know.
Talk.
What's wrong to you? You haven't got me no food.
This is when I have an accent.
No.
Okay.
I'm totally hearing that bird talk.
You all right, man?
Okay, he kind of talked, but he's not the one. All right, try this one. Here, sorry, that was lame. How about this? This is better. Okay, let's get ahead.
So ravens are excellent at mimicking sounds they hear. Mischief, can you say hello?
Hello.
Good
See?
bird.
Did you hear that? Listen
He
again.
does all sorts of voices. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Good job. And sometimes he hears people who have a cold. Good job.
Oh, he
Mischief.
coughed. That's weird. Okay, but sometimes I have to mind. Okay, and now it just
Yeah,
talks.
but it's a lot
Hello.
deeper than a.
Yeah, it's like,
well,
hello, what's going on? Hello, I'm a raven.
Hello.
Hello. It's weird, man. I think it's freaking weird.
Yeah, it's. We need our birds. We need our talking birds to sound more like Gilbert Gottfried and less like.
Yeah, I don't like
less like VM Vargas.
Yeah. Yep. Turds float.
Exactly.
All right, a drunk man in the news. Boy, those are great. Let's do one of those.
Drunk man.
What's his power, Brian? What's he do?
Oh, I don't know. Drunk man. Sorry, I'm pouring myself some coffee. I can't do two things at once.
Yeah,
but
this
drunk
is-
man's power,
Yeah.
ability to wander aimlessly as he stumbles down the street. I don't know. I'm drinking coffee. Excelsior.
There you go. That was you finished. Good finish.
Yes. Did I kill that bit?
Yeah, you killed it. Good job. Anyway, a drunk man has 13-year-old drive him to get ice cream and is now charged with endangering a child. I don't know what's worse.
What did he expect him to do? Drive himself to get ice cream? I mean, duh.
Well, that's the question. Is it more dangerous to drive yourself drunk, or is it more dangerous to have a 13-year-old drive you? Or what's more illegal, I guess, is the question here. But anyway, Javier Elduar Martinez Aguilar, age 42, of Lubbock, Texas, has been indicted in a charge of endangering a child with criminal neglect. According to the police report, September 9th, 2020, around 6:15 p.m., police pulled over a vehicle for a traffic violation in the area. The officer asked the driver for a license and proof of insurance. The driver, a 13-year-old, told the officer she did not have said license. She told him her age. The officer asked why she was driving. She said she was driving a family member to get ice cream because he was drunk. According to the police report, family member Javier they have this full name every time.
Javier Eduardo Martinez Aguilar.
How about just a Martinez Aguilar, age 42, of Lubbock, said they had just gone out to get some ice cream. Then the officer asked for his ID. He fumbled with his wallet and struggled to get his ID out. Later asked him to step out of the car, do all the tests for the drunk part. He was drunk. Kid shouldn't be driving. You're in big trouble now.
Okay, so I was thinking that Javier was in the car with her. And was helping her to get to the location for the. I mean, not that that was a benefit. Like, well, I feel much better if my drunk uncle or whatever he is was in the car with her. But
well, he's in there. He's in the back seat. He's there the whole time.
Oh, was he?
Oh yeah, yeah. Because he said she's driving the member. So then the cop asked the dude to give me your license. And
oh, okay, yeah. She said she was driving a family member. But then why is he saying they had just gone out to get some ice cream when they interviewed him?
Meaning they as in the girl and him.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
so they put the quote in the wrong place.
Yeah.
The
it's a weird-
quotation mark should be after the word they, because he wouldn't have said they.
I totally agree. He wouldn't say,
Yeah.
quote, they. Yes, that is absolutely right.
Right. Okay.
All right.
That was confusing. KCBD, you're dead to me.
You're dead
to me.
Yeah, you're dead to me too. You're dead to everybody. Someone said, didn't Scott in the chat, Rainbow Bright says, didn't Scott start driving at that age? No. I did drive a car when I was 13, and I wasn't supposed to. So yeah, I've done this. Basically, I've done this.
Yeah.
I just didn't get arrested, and nobody was drunk. It was just me driving.
You know, I mean, it's who's to blame here? Because the 13-year-old obviously was plied with the promise of ice cream to do something illegal. So
Right.
I kind of feel like no one is at fault.
It's all good.
Yeah, no one's at fault. I mean, you can't help a 13-year-old's going to do whatever for ice cream, and drunk person can't be trusted to make good decisions. So I think this falls solely on the officer's shoulders.
Judge Ibbett has ruled in this case. Everybody's off. You're all good.
Next case.
Next case,
Bailiff,
please. Yep.
kick these two out of my courtroom.
Dun, 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 dun. And I could have like Doug Llewellyn come out and introduce the
That's right.
new
We
guy.
need a typewriter sound.
Yep.
Meet
Dun, dun,
Frank
dun, dun, dun,
Linsky.
Yep. You guys remember, we're doing stuff that maybe a whole generation doesn't know what we're talking about.
He's charged with failing to avoid a tree.
They were always things like
the
you and your.
There's two people you're about to hear.
They were always things like you and your Russian neighbor with the tree hanging over the thing. That's what
they totally were. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. But it was dumber. It was like dumber things than he's being charged with reckless endangerment and criminal neglect. It's like he's being charged with not sharing pie.
Yep. I used to like that stuff. I don't watch any of that anymore.
Yeah.
And I know Judge Judy is sort of the same thing, and she's retiring, right? Is she done after this year or something?
I think so. Judy Shanlin. I think so. Yeah.
She's making more money than any judge in the history of judges.
Dice Tomato just put the People's Court theme into chat.
Oh, I should probably play it. Because why not?
So.
Shouldn't we?
We got to get the typewriter and the bongos.
Here goes. Let's give it a play here.
Here
we go. The People's Court.
Oh, here we go.
Here it
is.
I'm Doug Llewellyn. On this side, lady with a two-headed monkey. She says
This is great. It's like we could add our own.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah,
okay.
that's really great. Thank you for that.
Oh, we got to hold on to that.
Yep, that's a keeper. All right, let's move on to this story.
I think Ken Kratz needs to debate in the People's Court.
Oh yeah, why not? Oh yeah, that's a great. You know, we should do a skit. We'll do a skit. We haven't done skits. Let's do skits.
No, we'll do a bit. Folks.
Yeah,
It'll be a bit. It'll be a skit bit.
Yep, Dunaway will be our defendant. He'll happily do it.
We can look at the evidence as I presented it to you.
You know, here's the problem.
Please don't look at my phone.
one of your greatest impressions is marred by the fact that we're probably done with Ken Kratz. Like,
I think so. Yeah.
In the larger consciousness, nobody knows about him like we do.
I don't even know what's going on with that because we did. It wasn't like the Brendan Dassey and can't even remember the main dude.
Cletus. Boucher.
Sure.
Whatever it was.
Like the last season of Making a Murderer wasn't a resolution, and so we're probably due for more.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Episodes of Making a Murderer.
Yeah. And probably more Ken Kratz, even if it's like archive footage or something.
That's right. Oh, poor J.K. Grammer. Twice he's getting mentioned on this show, and he's not here to enjoy it.
Oh, that's too bad.
See, Ret Law 7. Who's Ken Kratz? Exactly.
See?
That's some YouTube business. Ret Law 7.
It was a 15 minutes of fame moment. Brian nails this impression. and now no one can enjoy it.
Back when we had Face App.
Yeah.
You know, we like had the Ken Kratz thing, and then I would just move the mouth and do impressions with the.
Oh, does that still do that app? I think it does, right?
Might, yeah, but I'm not doing that. It gives all your face stuff to the Chinese app companies, and they're gonna put them in all your stuff and never.
I don't know if I believe
steal your identity and take all your money.
I didn't believe any of that stuff. I do think though that what you were really doing is giving if that's true, if they were gathering face data, you were giving them Ken Kratz's face data.
Yeah, that's true. Oh no, they're gonna hack into Ken Kratz's phone, and what else are they gonna find in his text messages?
Oh, we gotta find that old video. That's somewhere, right? We have that somewhere. It's very
the Ken Kratz thing. I totally have it.
It's in text, but I'm sure it's 9 miles.
If you need me to resend it, I can.
You should. We should put this up and have people hear it.
All right, I'll send it to you during the music.
Freaking funny. All right. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to tell you about a hot new treatment taking the world by storm.
A hot new treatment?
Yeah. It's called the Foreskin Facial treatment.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
My neighbor does this. It's called swaffling.
Oh. And well, now who needs this article? The treatment is supposed to reduce wrinkles and by using skin cells from a baby's foreskin. Because they get them chopped. That's
right. They're getting it taken off. So
sure. That's
why make that? Deal. Why let that go to waste? Oh, I just found. Look, I don't know if you can see my phone, Scott. No, it's too bright. Darn it.
Yeah.
That's like video after video
of you doing those. Well, you had a day that day. Look at that.
Apparently I did.
You should send.
I'll just randomly send you one.
Yeah, just whatever one.
Okay,
Or
here we
make
go.
it so
I'll just
I can
right
play
there.
stuff from that.
And I hope it's a funny one. Scott
I
Johnson.
have to add a source. How do I do it? I want to hear this. Hold on. Oh, I guess I
It's
gotta
Kevin.
run. I gotta run my text app. Okay, here we go. And then we add that as a source. I don't have it in loopback. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so I won't hear it.
You'll hear it. You'll hear it.
Okay, good.
I have you set up now. Okay, so Brian just sent this. Let's put this up where the camera can see it. This is great radio, by the way. The best radio.
Yes, whatever.
It's fine.
Whatever.
It's fine. All right, here's Brian's Ken Kratz as Ken Kratz. Enjoy.
You can't spell badass without D-A.
It's one of my favorite things you ever did. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. You guys don't even know. And if you don't know who Ken Kratz is, I feel sad for you because
Yeah,
it's-
you find a YouTube video of Ken Kratz and his
It's spelled
courtroom
badass
deliberation.
Because he was the DA in the case, right? That was the whole
You
thing.
want another one?
Yeah, do
while
one
we're at
more.
it?
Do one
Okay.
more.
I mean, I have like 11 of these or 12 of these or something.
Yeah. All right, here's another
None
one.
of them are more than 10 seconds long.
All right, some reason this is black. Hurry.
If you want to come over to my house later, maybe I'll drop my suit.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. That's really funny. Oh,
man.
that's really, really funny. Okay, where the hell were we? I don't even know what we were doing now. Oh yeah, this story about the foreskin.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
let's get to
it.
this. Those are really funny. Yeah, dangerous deep fakes. Those things are. I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
yes they are.
Oh, I wish people at home could see that. You'll have to.
I'll have to put some on Twitter.
Yeah, tweet some. It's been enough time. We need these in our lives again. All right, so this guy's getting the foreskin facial here. It's not widely available in the U.S. by the way because it's just not widely available. But it does say.
Do we need a reason, really?
Yeah, it feels like I don't know if we do, but anyway, so this guy recounts in this article his experience with this. So basically, he asked the question, "Do you do a foreskin facial?" to the facialist at a New York salon. They said we do a 4-step facial called hydrofacial. He says, "Does it have foreskin in it?" She says, "Well, it has 4 steps." He says, "Sorry, I hate to labor the point, but does it contain actual foreskin?" And the lady says, "I don't know what you mean." And she says, "Foreskin?" And he says, "Yes, like the end of a penis." She says, "Oh, no, we don't have that here. We only treat the face." No, I get it. But does the facial ingredient contain foreskin? No, goodbye. And she hung up. Apparently, though, this is popular with like celebrity types. You inject cells from the baby's foreskin, specifically a South Korean baby's foreskin for some reason, into your face. Sandra Bullock and Cate Blanchett are big fans, apparently. That bums me out. I don't know why. I don't think Cate Blanchett needs anything, but whatever. She had
Can't
one
wait to
last.
find out when its candle's gonna smell like next.
Yeah, no kidding. Kate Beckinsale had one. She had one of those. Called it amazing. After a couple of false starts, this guy had an appointment with somebody in Manhattan. They went to a place called Hollywood EGF Facial. $650 plus tip. He got one from a lady named Sarah. He goes on to say, "Been looking forward to it. Facial's supposed to reduce wrinkles and improve skin tone."
Whoa, aren't you supposed to take it off the baby first?
Right, see? That's what my first question would be. There's actually pictures of him of before and after. Yeah, he says, "My face is very red and very shiny. On my neck, there are red blotches where the needles have done their work." Yeah, he looks worse after.
He kind of does, and it also messed up his hair.
Yeah, Yeah, he really didn't. He didn't have a good day with that.
It's a really funny, like, before and after shot.
Yeah. He does say later on, personally, I can't see much difference. If anything, stared endlessly into a mirror looking for changes. It made me more self-conscious about my face. I noticed one of my eyes doesn't open properly. My nose is bent. There's a lump on my lip where someone punched me once. On one of those nights that I used Martin's ID to get into Tokyo Joe's. Perhaps as a lesson in that, maybe we shouldn't try to defy our age, he says. So he says he can't tell a difference, and here's why.
Yeah.
Pudding.
Because there's no difference.
There's no difference.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's trying to expose it for that specific thing. So.
And he did a good job, I think, because most of this stuff is total hooey. And
it's a bunch of horse hockey.
And the idea it needs to be a Korean baby's foreskin. What does that even mean? What does that mean?
They're rarer.
Here we see the rare Korean baby.
You almost sound like Werner Herzog there.
Yeah.
Here we see.
He's got a video going around this morning.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
Isn't that great? I got to play that real quick.
I speak German, English, Austrian, Hungarian, Greek, ancient Latin,
He's
Klingon,
so great. Look at this.
Packlid.
I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it for a second. Let's
All
see.
right.
I don't know how loud this is. It might not be very loud, but I'll play it.
How many languages do you speak, Werner?
Not too many. I mean, Spanish, English, German. And then I spoke modern Greek better than English once. I even made a film in modern Greek. But that's because in school I learned Latin and ancient Greek. So from ancient Greek to modern Greek, it's not that far. And I do speak some Italian, and I do understand French, but I refuse to speak it. It's the last thing I would ever do. You can only get some French out of me with a gun pointed at my head or something like that. Then I would speak French. It actually happened to me. I was taken prisoner in Africa, and drunk soldiers on a truck, all of them 15, 16 years old, some of them 8, 9 years old, and I mean, really scared. One pointing a gun here, a Kalashnikov, another one here, and another one there. So that was very unpleasant because they were all drunk, and some of the little ones were stoned. And I tried to explain that they probably arrested the wrong ones, and the captain of them shouts at me, "On ne parle français ici." Here we are speaking French, so I had to say a few things in French. I regret it. I've done it.
He's so great, dude. Oh
what's crazy is that he's driving a car. Like isn't he driving this car? Like while he's getting interviewed?
Someone's in there with him, and he's just driving around L.A. or something. I can't tell you
what kind of. How do I get in on this interview technique of get a ride with your interview subject while they take you to Mod Market to.
Yeah, it's a really odd thing in general, but also just the fact that he's like, you'd have to hold a gun to my head to speak French, and like that one time where I had a gun to my head,
literally had guns pointed at my head.
Yeah, he's such a weird dude.
Oh my God, he's fantastic. And
the Mandalorian.
And somebody needs to replace the opening question with, "How many languages do you speak?"
Right, because he's in a Star Wars thing. Why not make it happen?
Exactly.
Perfect combination. All right, final story. Actually, I'm going to save this one because we are at time.
Okay.
We're going to take a break. Wendy will be here. Next up, Therapy Thursday. A little bit of time to talk about one of you and your questions, so we'll get to that in a minute. Before that, though, a musical break with Brian Ibbott's selection of fine music. What do we have?
Yes. Brooklyn-based indie rock band that's called The Next Great American Novelist, also known as NGAN, short for Next Great American Novelist. Mm-hmm. They've got a brand new album that just came...
You haven't slept in 24 hours. You look like shit. I need you fresh.
Their milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard. This is the Morning Stream.
All right, we're back, everybody. Welcome back to the program. That was very cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Real good.
I like that sound, like that Vines, Strokes, Eagles and Cycling sort of compared them to the Strokes thing. They're trying to sound like the Strokes, but not nearly as good.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Not quite
I didn't
as-
realize we had a Rolling Stone reviewer here in the audience
Oh,
today.
yeah. Sometimes you never know who's going to be in there. Can be some real smarty pantsers. Got a lot to say about stuff.
Try to remember what was it was the Matt Foley thing. You know, when he's like, oh, we got a regular reviewer in here.
Oh, yeah.
I can't know who that
Look
is.
there, we got an expert there. But Bob, you see that over there? I love that. That's funny. I was just watching like a bunch of Chris Farley stuff. I'm in the mood for Chris Farley. I wish he was alive. How old would he be now? Like 60 or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably.
God, you think?
Yeah.
He was younger than us, wasn't he?
No.
Wasn't he born?
I don't think so. Let me see. Chris Farley. I'm pretty sure he was older than us.
I want to say born. Oh, yeah, he was 5 years older than us. So yeah, he'd be 55.
55, yeah. He should be here.
We're in 64.
Yeah.
Christopher Crosby Farley.
Yeah. He should be here. He should be
He should
alive.
be here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, whoops. Crap. Hold on. A second. Shit. Hold on, Brian. I screwed that up. All right. Whoops. There we go. Sorry.
There we go.
Hi. Sorry. Hello, Wendy. Hi.
I see. There's only room on here for 2 people. And Brian's got to go. Wendy's coming on.
I screwed that up. That was my fault. Hey, look who it is, everybody.
Everyone knows it's Wendy.
It's my sister Wendy. She's come once again to free us from the tyranny of our own lives. Hello, Wendy. How are you?
Hey, tyranny of your own lives. Wow.
I know.
Just making words up.
That's a high bar
You
now.
guys,
to say.
you guys okay?
Yeah, we're doing all right. You know, a lot going on, stuff happening, things going on. Did you get to see The Fly last night?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
We watched the debate the first debate was like not even a chance I would ever watch it. Because it was exactly what I thought it would be. But we did tune in and my kids watched and this was hilarious.
Yeah.
Elliot's, he's almost 12. He's 12 next week and he's middle school stuff. Anyway, he just says we turn on the debate and I don't think he'd ever seen Mike Pence ever. And he goes, "Oh, is that a Russian serial killer?"
What? Oh man.
That was his first words, which was very funny. And then we go through, we're watching it. And at some point, Pete is working on the top 10 places. They're doing this Google Earth thing where they find a place on Earth that they want to visit. And it's really clever. Man, as he got into it and he hates all other schoolwork besides stuff like this. So he's just doing it. He's super excited. And at one point in the debate, he just lifts his head up. We didn't even know he was listening. And he goes, "That's absurd." It was so funny. I will never watch a debate without small children around again.
No
it was
kidding.
so much better.
Oh, I miss
They
that
know what's
kid.
going on.
I know. And The Fly was the highlight. I mean, they could not get over. Why is he not moving? Is he a zombie? Like, what is wrong with him?
Yeah, like
And then Elliot would just go, "Russian training."
Your kids.
very
I miss
funny.
your kids. They're freaking riots. But here's the thing. Did you ever think that, you lived here a very long time in your life and you know how we get late fall flies. That's just the way it is. In the fall and late summer, Utah gets flies.
And fruit flies. That would not have surprised me if he was covered with fruit flies.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Because those things are nuts in fall.
My first thought in seeing it was like, oh, well, yeah, it's fly season. That's hilarious. But then it sat there for 2 minutes and I went, no, you feel that and you flip, you do this, you move your hand.
Yeah,
and you
just wave them off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, get rid of that damn thing. So
That was very funny.
It's very odd. But what is not odd is our usual Thursday meetup with Wendy where we help you with your problems. She is an actual therapist, helps people all the time with real stuff, and here to help you with yours. We're going to read an email this week, and I will not use their real name. I'll call them B from Virginia. Okay? All right. There's a lot of B's in Virginia, so I wouldn't worry too much about any of you being called out. Here's what this
Flies
says.
in Utah, bees in Virginia.
There you go. Midlife dilemma is the subject line, and it says this. Hello, I am at a flashpoint in my career and life, and I need help. I work in higher education, and my department went under its third reorg in less than 3 years. This time, however, I was reorged out of a job. Being in higher ed, I had protections. So even though I've been reassigned to grunt work, I actually will keep my job for the next 12 months before I lose my salary and benefits. That's interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Anyway, I will be 42 next month and have a wife and a 5-year-old daughter. I've been in the IT field since I left college, but it's always been a job and never something I've ever been attached to, which I think is a problem in itself. I haven't stayed with my job for more than 4 years at a time. For one reason or another, it's always been my choice to leave and take up another job until this time. We need to get a somewhat comparable salary and a job that provides health insurance with whatever I wind up getting. I feel like an event like this should have me looking at what I truly want to do with my life, but I cannot answer that. Someone once told me I need to figure out what my passion in life is, but no matter how long I think about it, I cannot answer that, and I feel like something is wrong with me since I can never answer it. Sure, there are things I like in life, but none that could support my family. I've never been able to answer the question, what do I want to be when I grow up? I worry that I will go through life until retirement age and look back and not be able to see that my contribution or what my contribution in life is. My mindset has always been on the side of regret and worry of missing out. I feel that if I don't do something about it, I'll be stuck in a rut and I will never be able to get out of it. If this makes a difference in all of this, I love my family. None of this is related to regret or issues with my family. It's all focused on career and work-life choices. My wife has been very supportive, and if I told her I wanted to pivot my career to something else, that she would go along with it. But I have so much worry that I would choose to do something completely different, and then in 3 or 4 years get bored and want to do something else. I don't want to put her through that, and it wouldn't stick for good. Thanks and take care. B from Virginia. P.S. I was the one that sent you or told you guys that there were pterodactyls in Jurassic Park, and I still feel guilty about that to this day. It's a whole separate thing.
Well,
I know about
all based on that, I say we don't help them.
Yeah, that's trash. You know what? You buried the headline here. Now we're not helping you.
Led with that.
I don't know that I would call this midlife crisis. That's not what it feels to me. This feels like a moment of decision for him, and I feel him. I feel what this feels like, and I totally get it. What do you tell, Wendy, people who are at this kind of crossroads in their lives?
Well, first of all, I would disagree. It is a midlife crisis. Crisis is the wrong word. He wrote the right word. He wrote dilemma, which is also spelled correctly, I will note. Midlife dilemma with 2 M's, because he had a better education than I did.
or a spell check.
Yeah, or a spell check.
Could be.
Yeah.
No, I would say it absolutely is. First of all, there's human development, and part of human development, we're so good at the younger years, and we watch a child grow and go, oh yeah, there's this phase, and then remember the kid was so horrible at 4, but now is a sweetheart at 8, and you're like, well, it's because of blah blah blah, right? We don't often go, well, do you remember him at 39? He was so interesting, and then at 42, we don't do that, and we're also in the middle of living it, most of us, right? And so it's sort of hard to see it in the bigger context. Older folks in their 60 to 70 range, there's the legacy phase of things. I'm not sure I'm getting the ages right, but kind of like and this is the beginning of that, which is, what is my contribution, right? Mm-hmm. And most of the time, up until about 40, everyone else in history would just either die by then or somehow get by without, getting a brand new sports car or something. But, our version of it now, and people will joke about quarter life crises. Yeah. And there is developmentally something that happens around that age too, which is, again, I'm spending all day doing a particular thing. I should care about this. So he's at a dilemma. He's at this point for a reason, age-wise, developmentally wise. He just got a kick out the door from his job.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing if he kept his job, he'd just keep his job, and then 3 or 4 years later, he changed to something. Like we have an established pattern of how he's sort of lived his life, and so you can say, all right, is there something wrong with him, or is that just like his jam and his style, and it's fine? I don't know. But he's now at a developmental place and a job loss where he has to really think about this stuff,
right,
and really decide what it is he wants to do. So I want to start with, take some of the pressure off. Mm-hmm. This is normal to be at this place, but the pressure, and this is interesting, if I didn't look this up before I meant to, but college commencement speeches for the last 100 years. What did they talk about? And when you go through and look at the difference between one sort of generation or, I can't remember what year it was. I want to say it was like 98, 99, something. There was a shift in what was talked about at college graduations. It went from like duty to society or whatever the previous sort of cool thing to say was. And it all turned into find your passion. Right? Yeah. So every generation before didn't really need to go find their passion. They just needed to be a cog in the wheel and
right. Just keep your head down, do what you're told to do, and
get it done. Raise the next generation. Don't be terrible. Right? Like that was it. But there was very much a shift in, and I do think we give millennials a hard time, but partly because we've been brainwashing them with this idea for a long time, which is if you aren't living your passion, then are you even a person? Like
they're even living. Yeah.
Are you even living? And it is so, and also you should be working 3,000 hours a day to be valuable. So there's a lot of like sort of cultural garbage that's been shoved down people's throats in that regard. Now, some people find their passion, live their passion, like cool. But I would say that can't be the majority, right? And then there's plenty of people like this guy who just don't even know what it is. So there's books, plenty of books about how to figure this out. How do I find my passion? How do I Now, if you've read one of those and it didn't change one thing for you, then you might be in a particular category. And we'll talk about that in a second. But if you have read one of those or watched enough TED Talks or whatever it is you do to get inspired to move towards discovering this thing that you care about and want to do, and it does work and you start moving in that direction, awesome. Then that's the problem. The problem is you just needed someone to guide you to find it. But I am suspicious, and maybe I'm totally off and you guys can just stop me. I'm suspicious that he doesn't have a passion that is a burning, lifelong one that would be interesting on Instagram. It's just not going to be there.
Yeah.
Or he has one and he just doesn't realize he's not connecting it with being a career, like having a career doing it,
Right. Or like that it needs to be one and the same, right? Like somehow it's possible to have things you care about and work you do that is not getting you health insurance. Because the reality is if everyone was doing only the thing they loved, no one would have employment. This is why I want Medicare for all, is that people can live their passion because they don't have to go bankrupt from being, whatever. Anyway, but that idea that he is, because here is my main point, is if you took the pressure off, and I get it, there's a job loss, so there's pressure. I'm not trying to minimize that, but the pressure for it to be passion, what happens? And then maybe the pressure to find your passion somewhere else, like it gets moved away from your job. Just because his track record shows me that, he's got this lifelong thing of he switches jobs, he does whatever, he's been fine to provide, like nothing's wrong. Except that there's this contrast, or he's had people tell him like, you got to find what you love. I'm just not going to add to it, right? Like that, my resistance to this is, it sounds great. It's like the building music, like you got to find, I just think you have to be careful for that because there's so many people that's not realistic for, or not even what they need to hear. Yeah. So maybe I'm being overly biased towards find your passion and spend a little time figuring out what you want to do in a day to bring home the bacon and pay for some insurance. And then where your energy could go is very different, right? Yeah. If I need to find my passion, and again, he says he doesn't have am I remembering this right? No hobbies, really? Nothing that's like
didn't call any of that stuff out. He did say there's things he likes, but he says he didn't get specific, but he didn't feel like any of that would put food on the table or pay the rent.
Right. And maybe there is a way to attach something he likes to a job. And so, yes, he can be thoughtful and think through some of that. There's amazing career counseling out there. There is tests you can take that say, you ought to do this. We always joke that Adams took one of those tests in college and it was something hilarious. It was like a firefighting vet or something weird that he couldn't do.
I remember those tests. Yeah, I wish I could dig mine up and see what it told me I should do, because I'm sure it's the furthest thing from what I actually do now. Even though those things some of that didn't exist back then. But
There's no way I took a test that told me I'd be a therapist. There's no way.
Yeah.
Because I accidentally became one anyway, right? Like that, none of this was planned. And so, okay, so my bias might be a little bit of like, oh, you stumbled into it, whatever. But, you know, at 42, you think, oh, and this is why midlife stuff occurs, right? So we think about the first 40 years are trying to learn how the world works and putting your head to the grind. That's not right. Whatever. Yeah, working hard and figuring it out, and money's very appealing, and you know, feedback from others that you're good. All that stuff can really, I mean, that'll get you going for a while. But then there is a moment in your late 30s, mid 40s, and it can vary in time for people, but there's a developmental step that is almost like a light turns on and goes, yeah, it's like none of this means anything.
Yeah.
And that is alarming, right? It's an existential dread moment, maybe.
Sure.
And so you think, I'm spending all this time and I do all of these things. And so it really is a dilemma, because you don't know how, you don't have the skill set to manage this quite yet, but it's also an awesome like opportunity to just figure out what you do want to spend your time doing. And it sounds like his family's awesome. He's got a good wife. He feels like he's successful. He is.
Yeah.
But there is this piece to it that, you know, he's struggling with. So when you guys hear his story, and have you ever been involved? I mean, I feel like, Scott, you were born, you're like there was a muse constantly running around our house going, Scott, you should do crazy things with your brain. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you've always had, even though you're not a cartoonist in the paper like Dad thought you would be.
Yeah.
But this seems like you didn't have a choice. It just, you're meant to be that, right? I feel like there are people like that.
Yeah.
It's not a choice.
I would also say, despite that feeling, and you're right, I have felt that way my whole life, that I was always going to do, you know, that I wanted to do the creative thing, whatever that path was. And yeah, I'm happy to say I got there, right? I figured it out. But there's a huge chunk of time where I felt like I'd missed the boat. Like I was just like, this isn't going to work. It's not going to happen. And mostly I felt that feeling in my 20s and early 30s, where I thought it should have happened already, or that everything should have aligned to how I needed it to work so that I could make it happen. And the stark realities of some of that, like you say, you know, cartoon in the newspaper, like Dad wanted or thought I would do. Turns out that was a near impossible thing. There's, you know, 1,000 people waiting outside a gate. The gatekeeper has one key and he lets one guy in every 10 years. And that was that business. Like, I didn't know that. I just thought, hey, anybody who's creative enough and funny enough, they can probably get a cartoon made. And it didn't work that way. The internet made it possible for me and millions of others to finally find a way to outlet their creativity and do it in a way that can build an audience and blah, 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 blah. So that was really nice happenstance. But even then, I remember right before jumping out to do this full time in 2009, so we're 11 years on now, having the daytime job, which was not fulfilling, and feeling very bummed out on it, and having this thing I did at night that was very fulfilling and was working out great, and then me feeling like I was at this moment of like, well, does that make me terrible if I want to do this full time and I you know, I go for this weird risk? And I'm kind of risk averse. I feel like part of that was watching Dad lose his businesses and struggle, you know, to make ends meet for a lot of time, especially in high school. That stuff's very vivid for me, because that's when his business crashed. We lost the house, lost the boat, lost the cars, lost everything. All the stuff we thought was cool was gone, and you know, we're on some form of welfare for a while. Like, it was a real weird time. And I think that made me chicken of risk and afraid of it. Still to this day, I think I'm still a little afraid of certain levels of risk. But I felt like what he's saying around 2009, like the words coming out of this email seem very familiar to me from that time. And the difference is I wasn't being laid off anywhere, but I had these two versions of me that were conflicting. One was a very unfulfilling job, but that had some semblance of security. Turns out that was all false security because that company's gone now. But it was there, right? And there was insurance and there was ways to make it all work. And it meant you could pay the house and pay the car and get the kids in school and feed them and all that. Or this other thing that was risky, but it looked more and more like I could probably make a go of it. and it still made me take too long. I probably should have done this in like 06, but I still, like, not until 2009 did I make this jump, and that jump was hard, man. That was freaking hard. I really struggled with it. And so finally doing it was a big deal for me, but it doesn't mean that there aren't days even now where things aren't overwhelming, or I've got too much on my plate, or, you know, all those same kind of things happen. You get tired, you get burned out one week or whatever. So to answer your question, I feel like I had his moment and then took the dive. So I don't know if I'm the best person to ask, because I now, my only regret is I did it later than I should have. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's similar in the, like, you have a moment, but I don't think the similarity ends there. He has nothing calling him necessarily to do a particular thing. And I don't know if you've had this experience, like, I mean, Scott, what if it was like you could choose from IT, I don't know, just pick a bunch of random jobs and then go, okay, which one do I want to do, when none of it's art? Like, that's where he's at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question then becomes, like, what's the best version of him and the life that he would like to live? So I want him to do something. And anyone nearing the 42nd birthday. 42, which is the reason I moved to Sweden, was the number 42. Have I ever told you that story?
No.
Yeah. So I was 32 at the time, and I had a pretty small private practice at that point. It wasn't a ton of people, but I had 5 couples, which I never have 5 couples at once that I see. And all 5, one person in the couple was 42 years old.
Oh, weird.
And one person in every couple was cheating on their spouse through Facebook.
Oh, wow.
Which is another reason I hate that place. I hate it so much. Yeah. But they'd reconnected with someone or found someone new, blah, blah, blah. So I had these 5 affairs happening all at once, which, let me just say, I usually would see one
Bjorn
couple.
Certainly likes my posts a lot more than...
Yeah, it was bad. Anyway, so I came home after a day of realizing that suddenly I was like, wow, there's at least one 42-year-old in every one of these marriages. What the crap happens at 42? So I came home and said to Adam, what was the thing you'll regret? Because what I figured out about most of these couples is they had nothing they were working on together. There was no shared struggle anymore because they were established by then, or, you know, whatever, they just didn't have anything mutually bonding or hard maybe, or even connecting them. And so I asked Adam what he would regret if we never did. And he said, live in Europe. And I said, me too, because we both love it over there. And so we spent the next 5 years saving every penny we possibly could so that we could go. And then we went and then spent every penny and then we came back. But it was because of these 42-year-olds. They scared the crap out of me. And I turned 42 while I was in Sweden. And it was hard. I was trying to learn another language. Talk about starting over and acting stupid when you're 40. That's what we did. And I feel like it helped us skip a lot of the 42-year-old garbage. But here's the thing about it. It is something happens. So my joke is always it's 42. So what I'd like this guy to do, and any 42-year-old listening.
This just hit me, by the way. I would have turned 42 when I made this decision.
I know.
Really?
Brian, what'd you do at 42?
Trying to think. I mean, I had,
Vegas.
let's see. So that was 9 years ago?
Yeah.
So I was already doing Coverville at that point. But that was probably, I was probably working for a different Boulder software company at that point, and I think I was ready to kind of break out and kind of go on my own. I was thinking about this and wanted to interject, but I didn't want to stop your flow. But maybe the question for him isn't necessarily what do you want to do? It should be like, what kind of place do you want to work for? Because when I started working, I was thinking about this. I went to school for art, and then I kind of got, because of the art background, I got hired by the software company to help with designing and laying out their documentation, but it turned into managing their support department and flying to places and doing installations and things like that. Nothing at all that had to do with my education. But it was, because I worked for this smaller company, it was at the time kind of the dream job. I was doing a bunch of different things, less like, oh, what is your dream career? What is it that you want to do for the rest of your life? It's more like, what kind of company do you want to work for the rest of your life? A small company where you kind of have your hand in a bunch of different things and your every day is something different, or a larger company where you can kind of be, not be the focus, not be the center of attention. For me, it was like, oh, the small company vibe was absolutely the way. And maybe him looking for something like that, instead of saying, I want to do this job for the rest of my life, it's my passion, it's my dream, maybe looking at it as, oh, I want to work for a company that is this size, or is this that has this vibe to it. I don't care what I do there, but that's the kind of thing I'd want to work for.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And maybe they care about a thing I care about. Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So aligning, and you're exactly right. Perfect. And that's actually what I want everyone to do, is sit down with a piece of paper and write out he's 42. He's had a couple experiences in his life. Write out what his values are that really matter, like rank them a little bit. So what matters in a place where you work? And then you can go into the details of, like, do you prefer smaller companies? Do you prefer, what industries do you feel comfortable wanting to be a part of? And, so you're not finding passion because it's, I need to paint murals, that's my passion, or I need to, I don't know what other people are passionate about. But, it's not that. It can be, you can have passion for quality of
it's just murals.
Life.
That's it. Murals is all anyone cares about.
That's all I want to do is murals. Yes.
If you have passion, you only have one lane to get in. Well, and I think another thing is there's a lot of people who have a lot of passion about money, and that's not really a passion. What it is the money buys you something that you care about. So it could be security, safety, value, that you matter, or whatever. So you got to dig a little. Like, if you write down, like, oh, I care about this thing, and then just always ask one or two questions after of, like, why is that your passion? Or why do you care about working at a company with less than 50 people? Yeah. Why do you, and if you ask at least 2 whys, 5 is ideal. Go 5 whys in, you will find, it's probably security, safety, it's connectivity, it's relationship, you will find what you actually care about. And that's actually passion right there, everybody. Yeah. So if you want to work somewhere where everyone's racist, that you can find a place. You just got to dig a little.
Which paper do you got to look in for that?
They don't hide as much anymore, but they used to have to dig a little harder. But you find a place where and this isn't just like segmenting yourself to everyone who's like you or something. No, it's just finding areas where your passion does exist. It just may not look like, the commencement speech has told you it was supposed to look, or that your buddy's saying, and again, when somebody says, find your passion, I want you to try this. Just turn around and say, so what's yours? And then see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because most people don't actually do it, have it, know. I mean, you are not alone is the point. Like, really, really, really not alone.
Yeah, and there's also a feeling of, even if you find it, I've felt this before, you'll find what it is, you may even be doing what it is, and then you'll still be in a world where everyone compares themselves to each other, and you'll still say, well, is my passion as cool as this other passion that someone else has?
There's no winning.
There is no
winning. Which is the beauty of being 42. Like, there are some things you have gained in this decade that you did not have before.
Yeah.
And that is perspective, and you can start to stop caring what people think. There's lots of like cool things around the corner that are developmentally appropriate, but no one taught you either, right? So it is it's actually really exciting. It's one of my favorite groups of people to work with, because it's like their brain is no longer stuck in what they think is all right? Like the demands of whatever was required, usually, to please their father, or, whatever garbage was leading up to them being wherever they're at 42.
Yeah.
That stuff can break away, and there's space for something new, which is like, what a gift, right? So first of all, a gift that you've lived this long. Second of all, a gift that you have a chance to do this. It sounds like, your life's been pretty good up to this point. Let's keep it going. And, like honoring that there's some benefits to this moment that can feel stressful. But here's another piece, and we can do a whole hour on this some other time. And I'm not going to do it today, but another thing to write on your paper, I think could be really helpful, is to write the parts down. So a part of me wants to, and then write it out. A part of me feels blank. A part of me, and so often they're very contradictory, right? So Scott, you're in 2009, which is like, I mean, Adam went out on his own in 2008, which is like the best timing, right? The whole economy crashes and you're like, cool.
Yeah.
Let's go. Do this.
Yeah. I mean, this feels like the wrong time to be focused for our submitter to be so focused on this kind of decision. Things
you might even have the same feeling, right? Like that
Right,
feeling we had in 08, 09.
I would think. And so the imperative is there, and it's like maybe extra stressful, and I can understand his worry, right?
Yeah.
But if he can write that down, like a part of him is worried, not all of him, a part of him. So Scott, you had a part of you that was like, oh, there's no way this is going to work. And then a part of you that's like, I have to do this. I'll die if I don't.
Yeah.
And a part, so we talk in parts and we have these parts, and often they're contradictory. There's some really fun work I have been doing recently with people and their parts that is like I can't stop geeking out about it. It's so fun.
Wow.
Anyway, and it's really cool and helping people in ways that I've never been able to help them. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, but these, and we could do maybe a little fun example of it sometime, but the knowing what these parts are saying and then sort of looking at them all on paper, like this part wants this part's afraid of this, this part of me needs this. And so those, what are they? And just being aware, you got a whole team in your head that is, everyone's in there to protect you. Every one of those parts you just wrote down is there to save you from getting hurt, being embarrassed, humiliated, left, abandoned. They're all doing their jobs. And that's why they're arguing over each other. And they keep emerging in different times because they want to keep you safe. So the part that says, no, stick with traditional, do nothing outside of this box. That part's just trying to keep you safe.
Yeah.
And then another part that's like, do it, jump off, go. That part is like, hey, there's another life out there, right? So seeing your conflicting parts as your friends rather than your enemies is incredibly life altering. Not easily done, but maybe even just getting it out in front of you can be helpful. And that's just true for anybody who's got conflicting parts sort of emerging all the time in their life, is to get them all on paper in front of you and see what each of these parts are trying to do and say, and recognize, they're there to try to save you from yourself a little bit.
Do you think there's anything to this idea that at 42, part of what, we'll just keep using that date as this titular date, but there's something about finding out that kind of everything either you were told or thought you were told was a little bit of a lie. And by that, I mean, you were growing up, you were told, well, people, like when you're in your teens, if you're 30, you're done. Like you are whatever you are, and you've developed fully, and you're an adult, and you're an old person doing old person things. And that's just the normal, and you're there and you're done. You don't have to do anything else. Which is a really simple, weird notion that you have when you're younger. But when you actually get to
not
those...
taught to you, but that it's just what you're observing.
It's just what you observe, exactly.
Every family I see seems like that's what they're doing until you scratch. And then you're like, oh, you guys are a hot mess under there.
Right.
But it looks like you're adulting and you've got children and you know what the crap you're doing. But,
and so there's a realization at whatever age where you hit it and you just go, I'm trying to do a template that's not even mine. Like, I didn't have any say in the design of this template. And it could be as broad as like, well, this is just every American, or this is just everybody in London, or this is wherever you live. But also you could just see it as like, well, this is what my parents wanted, or this is me trying to make them happy, or, you come to that realization around that age, and it can feel like the crisis everyone calls it. Applying a hot new sports car and a girlfriend on the side doesn't necessarily solve anything. But I understand that thing. Like, I understand this desire to, like, I'm not where I want to be or doing what I want to do, and I'm halfway through my life. I must have a fast car and a fast woman. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of get why people end up there. Yeah. And the stuff you're talking about today, is smart, because it will really help people avoid that. Like, because none of that leads to anything happy. You're not going anywhere happy with that. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. Like
No,
even
and-
if-
the car or the wife is.
yeah,
Yeah,
either way.
no matter the fast woman. I haven't heard that word like together forever. It's very funny.
I haven't either, which is weird.
Well, yeah, and
So-
it's an opportunity. It's like two paths are before you. One of introspection and one of understanding sort of this developmental stage that's normal. I mean, we all joked about midlife crises our whole life, and then suddenly we're 42 and going, oh, is this it? Is this what this is supposed to feel like?
Yeah.
And, it's a chance to go, well, I'm not going to deal with anything. And then I'll deal with it in these very maybe destructive ways or whatever. Or it's maybe this is cool. And it's a chance to think through some things. And it may be that his decision is, well, I'll just try this thing for the next 3 to 4 years and I'll just keep my pattern up.
Yeah.
It's not actually hurting me. And our family's doing okay. My wife's supportive. And then what do I care about in these places that I work that maybe tweaks my experience? So Brian, you were saying like you had different experiences that were not in the job description and you grew. Mm-hmm. And I think, if growth is one of your values and that feels like that's what you want, then, seek those things out and keep changing jobs every 3 to 4 years. That's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone works anywhere more than 4 years. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Your goal could be variety.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
so
nothing
getting real
wrong
honest with
either.
it. Mm-hmm. Right. And I like newness. That's why I like to move. And you could say, wow, that's pathological and you're wasting a lot of money. And the truth is I am wasting a lot of money. But I really like new places and new people and new experiences. And I think, well, okay, I can pathologize that, which there maybe is some there. Or I can work with what I need or be honest about what it is that's happening. Like a little depth with this I think it'll reveal to you a couple things maybe you hadn't thought about. And that also includes like, what do I want? Where do I want to be in the next 10 years? Do you really want to be working 100 hours a week at a law firm? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe what you really want to be in 5 years is like the job is steady and you're spending time on the weekend, doing go-karts, and that's all you care about at some point. Like the freedom to do the thing outside of work, that might be the thing that you care about. So
yeah. Well, now you
write out your stuff.
You're making me want to do go-karts.
The answer
now.
is always in writing.
Yeah. I want to do go-karts now. So thanks for that.
I do too. Just right now. Not for a living. I just want to do go-karts.
Yeah, that sounds all right to me. All right. I think this is great. I hope this helps. It's a much more positive take on this than I expected. In other words, it does feel like an opportunity and less like a crossroads or a crisis, as people would typically call it. So I think he's probably got more options than he thinks.
One last thing of just like, go read one figuring out your passion book and then chuck any other idea that that's what you're supposed to be doing after you've read that book. Because if that book doesn't inspire you and get you to whatever, then that's not your problem. But I feel like people sometimes need, because it is so common. It is so common for everybody to be like, well, what is your passion? Like everyone's Oprah. Come on. It's not how that works.
No.
And it causes more damage than good for those that's not the case. Because it's the majority of us.
Yeah, that's most of us. It's kind of like this notion that, we're real big on this in America, but this idea that you can be the next Jeff Bezos. Anyone in America can be. And the answer to that is complicated. Sort of, but mathematically the probability is off the charts bad for you to become the next Jeff Bezos. Like it is actually harmful, I think, to say to people, if you get critical of the way Jeff Bezos handles something, and then someone says, well, you could be him, just admit it, you're jealous. You could be him. Why don't you just be him? You can't just be him. And if everybody was him, then what world is that? That's not possible. It doesn't work. It's not possible. So yeah, I don't know why I brought that up, but don't think about
Be
that.
Jeff Bezos. That's the answer.
Yeah.
That's
be
Put it
Jeff
on a
Bezos.
You don't know what to do. Be Jeff Bezos.
Be Jeff Bezos. All right. Well, let us know how it goes, the listener, and we are hoping for the best for you. It's also one other thing is all this stuff Wendy's talking about, where you can study and think and write down all this stuff and whatever. You've afforded yourself this because the place you work gives you a year to do that.
Yeah.
So you've got time to work through that stuff in a way that a lot of people don't have that option. So see that as an opportunity and go for it. All right, Wendy, good stuff as always. We're getting closer to a new phase of realsteps.org in November. Sign-ups can happen now, though, right? People can get in there.
They can, put their email in. I'm going to start sending out the official sign-up stuff as soon as I realize it's October now.
Hey, Wendy, today is October 8th. Just
October's already half over. What are you talking about?
Yeah, just to help you.
Oh my gosh, is that true?
Yeah, isn't that
No,
weird?
no.
It's not half, but it is definitely the 8th. So
Can I tell you real quick what we did last weekend? This was so fun.
Sure.
And if you live anywhere that this is possible, it was awesome. So the YMCA is really, really big here.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one in every community and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they have these, I don't know, they're however old the organization is, but they purchased all the camps along all the most gorgeous places, right? So there's a YMCA camp on this lake or that lake. Like, so they're amazing places. So what they did was they souped up their Wi-Fi because they probably didn't have any Wi-Fi, but they souped it up, and then families could come and work from the camp, and the kids could go to school, do, online schooling.
Yeah.
And so, and it's only a handful of families, right? And so we went, and it was in Wisconsin on this lake. I mean, it was so stunning. I can't even stand it that like kids go to camp there.
Yeah.
It's like the most beautiful place I've ever been. And we slept in the bunks that the kids slept in. It was pretty hilarious, pretty uncomfortable. But and you pay a fraction of what you would to rent anything else, right? And you could use all their stuff. So we threw hatchets and shot arrows and ran around in the forest. It was so nice. So I would recommend, if you have a YMCA camp anywhere near you, see if they're doing this, because it's super cheap, but you had all the cool stuff. And I saw 3 clients sitting in a camp director's office because I could work from there. My kids got all their homework done. It was pretty awesome.
That sounds great.
It was gorgeous. Now, I'm not saying everyone can go anywhere and do whatever. Like, I realize that, but winter is coming.
Yeah.
So maybe we should have a self-care conversation at some point too, about just sort of how we navigate this winter, everybody, with life being the way it is, and just making sure you are, taking time to get some.
For sure.
So that was good.
That'd
It
be
was
a
a
really
nice
good topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, go get.
So maybe someone write in. That always gives us a kick.
Yeah,
when somebody writes in about
an
a
email
self-care
related to
question.
this issue will get us started. So
Yeah.
send that in and get your flu shots. That's the important thing.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
Wendy, have a
Okay.
fantastic week, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
All right. There she goes. There she goes again.
There she goes.
I love that song.
I do too.
Is it wrong to love a song that's that poppy and
No, God, nothing at all
top
wrong
40?
with that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just making sure I'm
Stop
not...
it. Stop it. Quit down yourself. That's a great song. The Laws.
It is good stuff.
It is.
You're not wrong. All right. Brian, your job is to go get more Ken Kratz videos made. Our job is to end things here today with a couple of quick things. An email from, let's see, this is from Renee A. in the Tadpole from Folsom, California. She says, hey, Steve and Brain. Just a quick email to let you guys know that this morning's Battle Royale with Dunaway, so this had been yesterday on the Rolling Stones top guitar players, was so freaking hilarious. Thank you for the laughs. I needed that so much at a time where I am in a very low place. Love you guys, Renee. Well, that is great to hear that we made ourselves laugh. It was a funny episode.
Oh, that was so much fun.
Yep,
Yeah.
It was real good. So, who do we thank again? Who was it that gave us that? Oh, the coffee guy, Kahawa Coffee
AJ
Guy.
Becker, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was pretty great. So thank you for
Yep.
that. Oh, Renee's in the chat. Hey, Renee.
Hey, Renee.
We're glad we made your day yesterday.
Renee.
Finally, one of these.
Service!
We got a fan service from Jeff Sire, our friend to the north. He says, not for me personally, but for the community at large. I am a huge fan of the rebooted XCOM franchise. So am I, Jeff. Love those games. I'm more than a little embarrassed when I look at my time played on Steam. The team that made the amazing Long War and Long War 2 mods for XCOM 2 have a Kickstarter of their own game. It's called Terra Invicta, which you can go search for on Kickstarter.com and you can find it. Terra, T-E-R-R-A, Invicta, just like it sounds. After reading the first paragraph to their pitch, I knew I would back this. If you like the Long War mods and this is completely your bag, it's already funded, but I thought any XCOM fans would appreciate hearing about this, Jeff. Awesome. That's very cool, Jeff. I love the XCOM games. Huge fan of those, and I've not tried the Long War mods, so that's interesting. I'll have to dig into that and see what's up because I haven't done that. But oh yeah, they're doing real good in here, so this is great. Oh, here's their first thing. What if aliens hell-bent on dominating humanity arrived in our solar system today? Would we unite and find a way to defend ourselves, both on Earth and in space, or would our divisions be our downfall? Terra Invicta is a grand strategy invasion game for the PC. It lets you explore these questions. Ooh. I hate to say it, but I think we'll probably turn on ourselves. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. Thank you, Jeff, for the fan service. If you guys have fan service you want us to mention on the show, let us know. That email is themorningstream@gmail.com. We are supported by you directly at patreon.com/TMS. We thank you all for your support and encourage those who haven't to hop on over there and even throw us something as small as $1. It gets you bonus content every week and other great prizes and rewards. That's patreon.com/TMS. If you're looking for any other way to get a hold of us or any other links we talk about on the show, all of it is at frogpants.com/TMS. All right, Brian, let's do the thing. What are we doing? Oh, song. Gotta do song.
We got a song. Boy, have we got a song. All right, so let me read the request that kind of goes along with this. Tyler and Anna wrote in earlier this month, said, "Hey guys, it's my son Tristan's